The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Welcome back to Durian ASEAN. You are with Grace at the Durian Heat, where we'll talk about issues around Southeast Asia. And we managed to invite this very special guest all the way from Singapore. In fact, it's just our neighbor country. But before we speak to this person, let me ask you a question. It could be a very straightforward question to all of you. Have you done something good to community or society? And if you have done, what have you done? And we would love to get some feedbacks from you after this interview. And this particular organization, it's called the Hidden Good. They also have a very viral and also famous video channel on YouTube. It went really famous and popular social experiment YouTube video. It's called Coffee with a Stranger, where they also asked us random people about Singapore and some related questions to that, and which has hit over 14,000 views on that. So with us in our studio, we have invited a speaker from Singapore who is the director of the Hidden Good. Her name is Jiezhen. So let's say good morning to her. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us on a Wednesday morning. So before we talk about the company organization, let's just briefly introduce yourself to our listeners.
Hi everyone. So I'm Jiezhen and I run the Hidden Good. Mm-hmm. And I guess a little bit about the Hidden Good. So the Hidden Good is a community platform to uncover the good that's happening it started off in Singapore, but also in the world around us. I think there's a lot of negativity these days on online media, so we hope to counter that by showing what's working instead of what always isn't working. Yeah.
So could you elaborate more? What initiated the Hidden Good from the first place?
So the Hidden Good was started about 3 years ago, in a time that, a lot of surveys were coming out that were saying that Singaporeans are apathetic, they're emotionless. There was a lot of stuff on online media that was just very negative.
About Singapore.
Not just about Singapore, about people in general, but it was something that we saw on our radars, just people, a lot of trolling, a lot of negativity online. We're like, okay, that side exists. Even in Singapore, right? Sure, there will always be apathetic people in every society, but why aren't we focusing on what's working instead? So what we did was that, we started off doing these social experiments, and we thought, okay, let's just, do a social experiment, see, okay, are Singaporeans or people living in Singapore as cold or as unhelpful as we make them out to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you started with a lot of YouTube channels, right?
Yeah. So our first video was called All Tied Up, and it was at a subway station, MRT. We call them MRT in Singapore. And, we got a little boy to go around asking people to help him tie his shoelace. And we got a guy, probably in his 20s, asking people to help him tie a tie. We wanted to see, okay, just very simple, right? Will people help? And, yes. And yeah, I think it was really surprising how much time people took. Like there was this, older, grandpa that, knelt down and taught the boy how to tie his shoelace. And he was like, okay, boy, this is a reef knot and this is a something knot, and now go home and practice every day. Okay? And and things that I think sometimes we get too busy. We might see someone helping someone, but we just don't take the time to stop and really appreciate the kindness that is actually all around us. And and then after we got him to switch, so we got the little boy to ask people to have him tie a tie, and the guy who was around in his 20s to ask people to tie a shoelace. And we were like, okay, let's see whether people do this. But people did, and it was really heartening. Yeah.
Well, I also watched another episode of yours where there was a drunken girl, and then there was another guy tried to approach her, sort of bring her to another place, and she says no, just wanted to see how people around them reacted. And it was also very interesting to watch how some people just be quiet, but on the other hand there were a few men try to help her out.
Yeah. I mean, I think in general, people are very helpful. If given the opportunity to help, they usually will help. But it's usually just about the awareness of whether, you notice someone's in need or or just like even the just being aware of the people around you and taking that time to step out and like help someone. I think people inherently good. That's our belief. And yeah, it's really about just creating that environment and and amplifying that. I think that's why we chose to put it on YouTube, because we could have just done it on our own and not taken a video of it.
Correct.
But we wanted to share it. We wanted to say, hey, actually there's that there is goodness in the world and there are people, and it's about time that we start talking more about it.
I really appreciate all the respect that what you guys have done so far, because it's literally uncovering the goods in people and also, of course, the world around us, especially. But let's talk about the company, the team of the Hidden Good. Who are the teammates, and then who started and who initiated the idea of having this organization?
Yeah, so our core team is about 6 people.
I see.
But in terms of like our community of we call them hoodies, like our volunteers, there were about 314 of them. The Hidden Good was started by these 2 guys, Rovik and Dion. They started it when I think they were sitting on a train and they realized that in Singapore we have reserved seats on the train for, people with disabilities, women who are pregnant, people that need the seat. But it had gotten to the point that people were so scared to sit on that seat, and they're like, hey, what's going on? Like, why are people so scared of being, caught on camera and put online that, they're too scared to even sit on,
right.
on like a seat. And then, so that, it started off with them doing a lot of these like guerrilla kinds of videos. But since then, the Hidden Good has kind of grown to be more than just a media channel too, which is what it started out as. So, when I came to the Hidden Good, it was, I thought it was really just, uncovering the good in the world out there, people. But then I realized that it was actually like the perfect platform to uncover the good in youth, in ourselves also.
Right.
Because through doing a lot of these projects, through coming up with these crazy ideas, right, you really get to see what's possible for, the future that we want to live in, what's possible in our own communities. And also that sense of belief that you can do something.
Right.
So all our projects are youth initiated, youth run, youth driven, and it makes a huge difference to you to feel that, we can have our voices heard, we can make an impact and we can make a difference. It doesn't have to be the biggest impact, we don't need to change like 1,000 lives in like one day, but that they can make a difference and the ideas count for something.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, no, so that the ideas count for something. So our team, when I think of our team, I think of like, if we talk about like the day-to-day operations of the company, a lot that revolves around our core, but it also, we're always talking to our community and, we have like a WhatsApp chat with like 100 people. Unfortunately, WhatsApp chat does not allow more than 100. If not, we'll have more people on. But, just building that community of people that want something different, that want to focus on what's working and build up from there instead of looking at brokenness. Because I think when we look at what's not working and the gaps and the brokenness, sometimes it just becomes like a circle, right?
Right.
And so doing something different and building from our strengths allows people to not only see the good in the world, but also the good in themselves.
So you guys have been approaching some problems in a positive manner. And of course, you guys also have lots of stuff by doing a lot of projects, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then with the teammates that Hidden Good has so far, along the way, I'm sure there were a lot of hiccups along the way, isn't it? In terms of clashing in opinions, and maybe a lot of ideas are clashing. So how do you come up with a solution or a conclusion to have one voice?
You mean within the organization?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't actually think there have been many clashes.
Well, that's really amazing.
I think it's, people might have their different opinions, and that's fine. Like, it's completely human to have different opinions. We obviously don't, like, that's why the Hidden Good doesn't have one particular, like, we don't only focus on like elderly or like children or youth at risk. It's really a platform. So this platform creates a safe space where people can come and talk about these things openly and respectfully, and to also hear different points of views.
Right.
So different points of views don't have to be clashing or cause problems. They can actually be a very good learning experience.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, misunderstandings are caused by the lack of knowledge about, not knowing enough about the other person or what they stand for. So creating a lot of these spaces to have conversations. That's why, the core of what we do is to spark conversations and inspire action.
Right.
So, last year, for instance, during Ramadan, so I'm not sure how familiar you are with Ramadan. I mean, you guys are in Malaysia, but in Singapore, it's, it's a visible holiday. Hari Raya is a very visible holiday, but not everyone gets to participate in it in Ramadan. You know how Christmas has become pretty commercial, right? And it's very, so for a lot of people, we see Hari Raya, especially me being Chinese and, other people, that might not be of the Muslim faith, they don't really get to participate in it. So one of the things that we did last year, so our creative director in my team, he's Muslim, and so are a lot of our community members, and they said, hey, what about we share this occasion with other people in our community and get them to share iftar and breaking fast, because it's not, you don't really get invited to break fast unless you have a neighbor that's Muslim, a best friend's Muslim, cousin,
exactly.
the family. It's usually a more private affair, and at least in an authentic way, in a small group setting. So, they organized this. We had this really great meal, and we said, okay, 20 seats. We told our community we have 20 seats for this iftar to break fast together.
All right.
Just sign up, and we want to have these conversations, because a lot of people they don't even know what fasting is really about. We have our ideas, but never having that space to talk about it.
And not many people also do want to try out. I mean, practice the culture, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an interest, but sometimes if you're not invited into that space, it's really hard to. You can't just go up to a friend and be like, hey, can I come to your house and break fast? I mean, sure,
exactly.
we're best friends, but it's also, you want to respect the money. So creating that space where people can come and ask questions. So it was amazing because we had, we didn't even plan for it. We had 20 spots at the table, right? And we said, okay, guys, sign up. And the diversity of people that came for the dinner was incredible. We had people that were of the Buddhist faith, of Catholic faith, Christian, Hindu, atheists, and even 2 girls that were Baha'i.
Right.
So Baha'i is already very rare in Singapore. And the fact that we had 2 people there that were Baha'i were really it was just a really nice conversation, and they could ask so are you not supposed to swallow your saliva fasting, which is a lot of the urban myths that we hear. How what was your experience? Why do you fast? And what's Hari Raya mean to you? Because in Singapore we actually learn a lot about the occasion itself. We know that during Ramadan people fast, and then they celebrate at the end of the fasting Ramadan season, right? And we know the technical aspects, but what we don't get a lot of chances to talk about is why do you fast? Why is this important to you? How does this fit into your family culture? And being able to ask those questions and and not feel like you sound stupid or ignorant and stuff, and having that safe space, I think is really what will take these conversations to another level of understanding of, of just building that community that we want to see.
I think that's a very fantastic approach, because that will also break down the stereotype when it comes to certain religion and how they've been practicing, and also the opening of the communication platform by preparing or organizing such event. It's a really, really great idea. So we'll continue our conversation after this short break to talk more about the hidden good all the way from Singapore.
Sure.